Here are two Bitcoin setups that you need to know, trading setups. One long, one short. The reason why I'm giving you both is because it's a crucial week when it comes to Iran, Israel, the US, and the Bitcoin chart. So if you look at the chart, you probably, if you've been coming back and watching these updates, you know that I am already short Bitcoin. There was this market structure in the 4 hour, which I thought was the legit one, meaning there was a high, there was a low, there was a 50% retrace beautifully that marked a high and then created another low. Now the problem here only is that this level here that closed wicked below the previous daily order block, which this was basically the level that resulted in a new daily close above that then came back almost to the ultimate 50%, did not have did have a sweep below here. Now, you would think, yeah, there is no close below, so this does not mean that it's a reversal, but I do believe that it can signal a reversal. So then I look at this, and if I go into the 4 hour chart, I look at this and I say 1, 2, 50% retrace, 4, and this would be the market structure. Now this does look good on the 4 hour, but the problem or the challenge is that on the daily chart, there is no 3 consecutive green candles here, meaning this is not a strong level on the daily chart. So even though that we closed above here on the 4 hour and we might think that we're going to have a reversal, this might not actually happen because this is nothing else but a retrace on the daily chart coming back to the daily order block and then a potential reversal from there. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is 𝗙𝗡𝗅. I do these updates every single day, 5 to 10 minutes. I help you understand it. If it sounds a bit foreign and you don't understand it, stick around. I promise you, watch the 2, 3, 4 days and you will start to get the hang of it. All I do is 5 to 10 minutes. Opa, I almost spat on myself. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Anyway, don't laugh, cuz. Don't laugh. Okay, let's go. So, ultimately, here's my prediction. Here's my approach to the market. One, I don't want to talk a lot about the war thing, but I said they won't fool me. It was so obvious they're not going to have any resolution. I said now that the details came out this weekend and the talks failed and everybody's back and now Trump is blocking the Strait of Hormuz from today, and you know, it's just a whole shit show. You know, I know you feel the same way. Here we go again, and so I don't even want to talk a lot about that, but it's not looking great, bruv. That's all I can say. On the daily chart, if I look at this, I pull the fib from this level and I say, where is, let me just pull this as well. Where is the 3 consecutive candles to the opposite direction? Here. That means that this is the final leg down on the daily chart. That means that this here is a clean reversal. This is a clean reversal and the retrace to the 50% markets always retrace 50%. And from this level, what we've seen is a clear swipe below the previous low. This is basically a market structure shift. So what you see here is this. This is what you see here. Yes, this might just be a wick here, which I see. It's not a close below, so it's not a very, very strong confirmation. But ultimately, it is a signal for reversal. So then I went down onto the 4 hour time frame and I explained to you that, okay, if there is a close above 72,000, well, that means that we potentially can have a 50% pullback here and I'm gonna long around 68,000, right? So, but if I was to long that, the only reason why I would is because I believe that this daily close, this daily swipe here is not sufficient enough. Let me give you the 2 setups and the 2 ideas. One is this was the top and we're going down. Why? Because on the daily chart, we retraced. First of all, it's elevator down, stairs up, massive liquidity. I've been talking about this forever. This liquidity here is going to get taken. Whether it's going to get taken like this or it's going to get taken like this, I don't know, but it is going to get taken, right? So ultimately, I'm looking for shorts. If I'm looking for shorts, I mark the last bearish or bullish candle before a major drop. This would be it. Actually, you can even mark the very, very top candle. This would be it. Price retraced into that order block, into that supply zone that resulted here. Just so you know, here this order block resulted in a 15% drop on Bitcoin. It retraced and then dropped, and now we retraced into that supply zone that resulted in that 50% drop. So ultimately what I would be looking at is a 4 hour market structure shift. Well, guess what happened? There is a beautiful 4 hour market structure shift. I see it here. You have 1, 2, 3 consecutive candle to the opposite direction and a close above and an immediate sell-off. This is not only a rejection, but it's also an AMD, accumulation, manipulation, distribution. You can see clearly on the lower time frames. If you go into the hourly chart, this was the accumulation, manipulation, distribution, retrace, continuation. That's what I'm looking for, right? So I'm already in the short position. I am going to add to this short position if we retrace up to the 72,450-ish region. If we do that, I'm going to add to the position. Now, can this fail? Yes. Why? One, it can still come all the way up here to 76,000 and still be bearish, right? So we can still have a push on there. Two, the markets are very much driven by headlines. So we can see this retracing a little bit, wicking through whatever, and then coming lower still. Ultimately, I'm still short. My ultimate stop loss is going to be 76 whatever, and even then, I'm going to look for short positions. Except, and this is my second position that I wanted to talk to you about, is except if this retraces on the 4-hour, retraces 50%, which will be down here at about 69,450. If it retraces here and shows a market structure shift on the 15-minute and the hourly chart, meaning a higher high on any of these levels, something very similar than what we've seen here. If this happens, as we did here, I am going to take a long position and at least target this high, but potentially target this liquidity zone up here, all the way up here, looking for a 10% move. We will see if that happens. This is the less likely scenario, even though, even if the war gets a resolution. The more likely scenario, in my opinion, is rather that we are going to have a little bit of a retrace here on London and potentially New York, 72,400, and then reject from there. Now, very important. This is the time when everybody goes like, oh my God, I got liquidated on one trade. It's super simple. Bro, don't risk more than you can afford to lose in one trade. Right? It's just one trade. I don't care if it gets stopped or it goes to I don't care. It's one trade. Okay, so please manage risk. Two, everything is driven by headlines. Bitcoin is driven by headlines. Oil is driven by headlines. The S&P is driven by headlines. Everything is driven by headlines. But I do believe that this is the way to go. Talking about the S&P, this is what the S&P did. I have been adding to my short positions, and I am going to add to this. I'm actually going to update you in the community again. But I have been adding to oh, this is a trade we just took. By the way, this is why it's worth joining in the community, to be honest, because there is a Telegram channel that I run. There's no chat, no nothing but me communicating my thoughts when they happen, straight on the move. I literally just posted this here and I said, hey, I just shorted Ray, very risky, have no stop loss, but no way this can sustain a 10 billion FDV. I posted it at 10:14. I was on the road, and here at 11:37, I closed it. 1 hour, I made about 500, 600 bucks, 45% of this short. It's simple. So join in. There is a link on top of the description. But I'm going to post it as well. The S&P is starting to turn red. I do believe we're going to have an initial pop here, but no close above 7,023. And I do believe that we are going lower. So it's a great entry for the S&P as well. Guys, that said, thanks for watching. This is the AMD video. If you haven't seen that yet, do that. Join in the community, top of the description and top of the comments. Join in, because that's where I can communicate with you. And I'll see you maybe not tomorrow. I'm traveling, so maybe not tomorrow, but I'll see you in the next one. Take care.